All right, so let's start with the eyebrows and then we'll move down to along the face. So male faces are closer to the ogre, as I've spoken about before. And the key thing about male faces is avoiding the eyebrow arch. You do not want to have an eyebrow arch. It's very expressive of the female aesthetic, so do not have it there. Lower the eyebrow to be a little bit straighter. That's the key thing. You can make it thick, but that wouldn't be enough if the eyebrow has a severe arch to it. Do not make it pencil thin eyebrows. That's not going to read. And try to bring in a little bit of a shade, not a unibrow, but a little bit of a shade in between the eyebrows, because that is also significant in male faces. Like, unless you're the kind of guy that does his eyebrows, like threads his eyebrows really thin, then that's your thing. But other people don't do that. Okay, and then there's the size of the eye. So the size of the eyes always have to be a little bit smaller. If you're talking elf, you're talking beautiful, and you're talking female beautiful. So you want to avoid the size of the eye from, being large scale wise. And you want to avoid the almond shape. So if the eye is leaning down, that's another cat eye signifier, or a beautiful elf signifier. So you want to lower this corner down. So the three things that I just did, please list them back to me. Write them down on the chat and list them back. The three things that I just covered. Painting boys' hair comes from referencing. You just got to build your referencing. There's nothing, I can't sit here and list all the kinds of hairstyles boys can have. You have to go into Google, search it up, do something that will fill your visual library with actual images of boys' hair. That's not something that I can teach. That's not something that comes with theory. Very little theory, but it's not that. Closer to the ogre, straighter brow, smaller eyes, thicker brow. That's not all of them. Smaller eyes, no arch eyebrows, little eyes, no cat eyes, meaning no inner tilt. So the outer corner and the inner corner, this line, have to be leveled. Very, very little tilt. So let's take a look at the before and after. Before, very feminine. After, just at this stage, the boy looks so much more masculine. Do you guys agree? Okay, before, after. This is just with three core things. No eyebrow arch, size of the eye is decreased, and no tilt in the eye. No inward tilt, cat eye tilt in the eye. Yeah? Arched eyebrow, smaller eyes. Yep. Oh my. Yep. Yes, agree. Yes, yep. Okay. Let's go into the mouth. The size of the nose is relative. You don't want a small, like Dwight Schrute nose, because it'll look a little bit feminine, and it's kind of not really flattering to have male features on a baby's face or a baby's proportions. And that's kind of what Dwight Schrute's face is all about. So you want to avoid that. You want to avoid the small nose. Make sure the nose, and I want you to repeat this back to me. Make sure the nose hovers towards the large. Just leans a little bit towards the large. All right, and remember the tip of the nose, right here, this little tip of the nose. Don't make it too slender, because what you don't want is this. You never want to have this. You want to make the very tip of the nose larger and broader. I always tend to draw eyes bigger by default in my more stylized art, so it tends to reflect back to my more realistic paint stuff. Yeah. Flicks, don't say stylized. You're too early in your art journey to say that you have a style. You have habits, and some of those habits are overshadowed by lack of knowledge and lack of skill that you don't just have yet. I'm saying this to be as frank as possible. It is a bit of a taboo here to say that you have a style and that you, because of your style, you make a certain mistake. It is because of your lack of knowledge in the field of gentle differences between genders in the face and portraiture that you have made this mistake. So never say that it is because of the style. and that how the style leans and kind of leaks into your painterly stuff. No one here has a style. Sid Mead has a style. Craig Mullins have a style. It's something they earned over years and years of practice. All we have, all this whole group, including myself, all we have are habits. And habits that we're stuck to and we can't shake off. And as soon as we shake them off, we kind of open the horizon a little bit for change in our work and lead actually towards a real style that we will earn and deserve at the end of our art journey. Alright, so I'm increasing the size of the lips. I'm going to increase the size of the nose, decrease the size of the lips. So this is decreased in many locations. The pout of the mouth should not be so feminine. It's a very feminine pout. It's less how the nose looks and more how It's less how the mouth looks and more how the mouth is acting. What the mouth is actually doing. So what the mouth is doing here is suggesting a pout. So what we want to do is take down all the pout. You also remember it's closer to the yogurt, so the mouth is a little wider. Just like that. And I'm going to make the upper lip a little bit larger than the bottom lip. We do not want to suggest a pout. Okay. Now the chin was kind of oversized. Well, that's the pretty boy face. This is what this guy has. He has a pretty boy face, so Justin Bieber's face is just like that. Also, the lats kind of lead down, not the lats, the trapezius muscles kind of just lead down. Is that what they're called? So it's kind of a downward curve from the shoulders. Gonna close the face inward. So his lips are still very pretty, but you'll see compared to before how much more masculine they're acting. This extra gloss you have on the lips, bring that down. Again, that's a signifier of makeup. And boys have more of a Neanderthal kind of brow structure. So it's a very thick brow. And what happens with that, is it casts a larger shadow over the rest of the face. So this is a pretty dark room this guy is in. So the shadow is going to be just a little bit darker. You have light on the cheekbone. If the light is this bright on the cheekbone, it is just that bright, and more on the forehead. Okay. And a little bit, this light of the nose carries all the way up here. Half the face should be in shadow. This little bone chisel line here, don't do that, because half the face is in shadow. The only points of relief are the areas that are the light spots, which are the lip corner, the upper lip, a little bit on beneath the corner of the lip, just like that. Looks like fangs if I don't blend them in, and the chin. Don't do this. Stop outlining. This is not right. This is you thinking about the lines that were once underneath here and just shading around the lines. That's not how this 3D object works. Okay, a little bit on the other side of the jawline. And right there and there. So on Tuesday I won't be here. I'm going to be traveling, so I'm not going to have a session on Tuesday for you guys. But Thursday I'll be right back, and we're going to have a session on Thursday. So Tuesday, the 22nd, I will not be here. Sharpening this shadow here. Do not outline the nose. You have a line here that's just hovering there. You don't know what to do with it? Paint away. Just get rid of it. Layer over it with the shades, the edges that signify. Thank you for the safe trip. I hope Border Patrol doesn't give me trouble. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't know what the border is like nowadays. Around 9/11, it was really bad. They would just stop the whole school. We went for a trip in the school bus from Canada to Buffalo to the Albert Knox something museum in Buffalo, and they stopped the bus. They took out all the Iraqi, basically all the Middle Eastern students out, so all the Persian students, and they interrogated us. How long has it been since you've been to the Middle East? Do you have any sympathies with any governments in the Middle East? Like, what the fuck? Like, we were all grade 11 students. We're all 16, 15-year-olds. And ever since then, I've just had a really bad image of Border Patrol. Like, I see them as just super racist, overly cautious assholes. Especially because of what happened to that boy just now. It's still around, so I hope just by seeing my name, or by, because my name is an Arab name, or something like that, I hope they don't give me trouble or pull me over. Because the last time I came into the U.S., they again pulled me over and asked me questions, and it was just really annoying. It's like, what do you think I'm doing? Do you think like I have a bomb in my coach purse? What the fuck? Do you think I have it in my bra? Like, where do you think I'm hiding the bomb, sir? Just humor me for a second. Morons. So that's why I'm worried about the Border Patrol. Sorry, I'm just polishing a little bit here just so that it's one final complete look. Okay. So, before, after. So a little expressionless, and oh my god, that's terrible. I feel you. Yeah, Isma. I feel bad for that boy. Yeah, definitely. I was just like, to see his face, he was so horrified and also confused at the same time. Like, what are you people doing? Like, fully armored policemen over like a 80-pound boy. What are you people gonna do? Where do you think he's hiding it? In his socks, where he hides his lunch money? Bunch of morons. So they still pull people over like that? Yeah, even now they do. After 9/11, we were in Canada in downtown Toronto. Me and the rest of my private school, which is an Islamic private school, we got stoned. People started throwing stones and pebbles off the gardens, the little garden hut thingies, or the little gardenettes kind of things in front of malls and stuff. They took out the little pebbles and stones, and they started throwing it at our bus and our classmates, because we were all wearing hijabs. We were all little girls. And that was when I was in grade 5 or grade 6. That's when 9/11 happened. A week after 9/11, we started getting stoned by like white people. And there was this like old lady. She just literally actually picked up the stone and threw it at me. And there was this other little kid. He was like 14 years old, and he threw it at me. I have just like a really bad image of like everybody because of that. So that's why I'm always worried about crossing the border. I worry about it more than anything. It's just, like some people are so not used to that. Some people don't even know how to imagine something having that kind of worry. But the rest of us, yeah, we kind of just have an unfortunate acquaintanceship with that kind of racism. Anyways, fuck all that. Before, really pouty, large eyes, really, really girly face. You can say it's just a girl just like a boy, or just really tomboyish. And then after, we brought down the face to be a little bit more masculine. You want to have expressions, you can have expressions, just make sure they're masculine-like expressions. Boys don't really arch their brow like girls do. So, yeah. Alright, so this one here. Really, really feminine figure. Just completely feminine. Well, in my figure drawing book, I'm going to be showing you guys the link for that. Actually, let me just show you now. These are the class books. This is the kind of basic fundamental stuff I talk about in this book especially. Thinking about what's the subtle differences between male and female figures. So this book is definitely helpful for you if you're venturing into figure drawing just like this. And buying it supports the class. It's just like donating to the class, but you get something back. And it comes with really nice brushes as well, so that's a plus. But this is the kind of stuff that's in this book, so I always referring to my book, and that's sort of where I say it more eloquently, I guess, than I say it now. Basically, it's like a triangle. Um, the male upper body down to the lower body, the weight is centered at the top. The female, the weight is centered at the bottom. No, nothing about dresses or anything like that. It's just the hip area is where the weight is centered for women, and the I guess the upper body area is where it's centered for men. They do not have a curve. The reason why women have a curve is because we also have shoulders. So this little bump here is caused by excessive altitude by the hips. So that's why they say we are an hourglass shape. So this hourglass shape, you're literally using a symbol that is specific for female body for on top of actually using a symbol that represents female body for a male um, anatomy. I mean, unless you kind of throw in some boobs and it'll be just a really masculine, I mean, really sculpted female body, but you gotta just get rid of that. You just gotta cut that out completely. So I'm focusing all the weight and all the mass up here. When I was at school, getting stoned meant something different. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. No, there's such culture differences. So this has a bit of a perspective on it. His body's kind of in a 3/4 view, so I'm just trying to work my way around this. You had way too much of a curve happening, my friend. You cannot get away with stuff like that in a figure in a character design concept sheet. You just don't make mistakes like that. There's just too wild and too uncanny, and those are the kind of things that you definitely need instruction for. It'll take you a while before you notice the tiny little differences. So that's why instruction is so important. Being around a community is so important. People let you in on the stuff you're not really noticing. And if you are not noticing that you had a female thing going on, you really need to take a break from whatever you're doing right now and go into anatomy study and just study male and female anatomy, because the male body just does not do that. If it does do that, it's a deformity. It's an actual deformity of the body. Even when men get weight, I mean, when they get heavy, the weight is still focused near the top, and the butts kind of just stay really, really flat. So when they kind of get heavy, men just kind of collect the fat just around the top. They don't really get that, extra bit of fat that women get, or the extra butt, or the really saggy fertility goddess boob. They just have everything is just focused on the top, and mostly their legs are just super skinny. I mean, I saw this one man, he was really heavy, but his legs were so skinny, like it was like a different person's legs. They were so tiny. Anyways, I don't mean to make fun of him. I'm just saying that's how men kind of keep their fat. So yeah, men, way at the top. Don't make this mistake again, because it's unforgivable. It's just, yeah, you'd never want to cross over symbols. You're just gonna get something uncanny that does not work. I've got an hourglass shape as well, but I'm a boy. I don't know. I'm not gonna believe that. I think you're just seeing it because you want to see it, but I don't think that's possible. Yeah, yeah, I'm talking. I think you should check your audio, yeah. But what I recommend to study, how to study, is not to waste time memorizing muscle structures. You're not a medicine student. You're not a student of medicine. You're not going to be, performing surgery and you have to know which muscles are where and just shove them aside and take out a bullet or something. All you have to do is memorize the general anatomy, all right? That's all that you're responsible for. If you ever do find yourself having to draw a warrior with his shirt off, pick up a reference. At that point, pick up a reference and imitate the reference. You don't need to memorize every single individual muscle group. That does not mean you're a good artist. There's so many people who throw that shit at me as if I'm supposed to be like super impressed by it. I don't care if you memorize every single group of muscle group. If you can't put it together in a real a readable gesture. If you haven't captured the motion, I'm not interested. If you want, me as the viewer, I'm not convinced it's just going to look stiff. If all you do is memorize muscle groups, and you just keep them there, and you're going to draw stiff characters forever if you're not investing enough time into gesture line. And again, I don't mean to plug all the time, but it really is a plug, because at this point, everything that I'm talking about is already spoken about in this book. Um, I talk about gesture lines on and off, and it's just always about how to keep things general and what to worry about and what not to worry about. So keep it in the general, kind of master the general muscle groups, the main landmark muscle groups in the male body, and then work your way around them, just like that. Kind of suck, but this is what I mean. This is what you should be memorizing. You shouldn't be wasting your time memorizing muscle groups, because they're not going to help you render better. They're not going to help you understand form better. They're not going to teach you about gesture lines a little bit better. You need to learn about gesture lines before anything if you jump into figure drawing. Figure drawing is not like portraiture. You can't just stab your way through the dark until it looks right. A face, you can easily make a face. You can easily paint a face, paint one half of it and throw it on the other side and you have a face, but duplicate the two halves, the one half, and you have a full face. What happens with a body is you've got limbs that can move and function and hold and lift and fall and be balanced and be imbalanced, and it's crazy. It's a lot of stuff. It's a whole new world. Um, so you guys have to remember all that stuff, that it's not an easy trip, and if it seems easy, you're not doing it right. That's all I can really say about it. Just be careful. Let me close this. Yes. Alright, so about this one. I'm just going to get the colors out of the way real quick because they are confused. Okay. So for this piece, I'm not sure if it's a male or a female. I'm not sure if this is I don't know where you're going with it for a very specific reason. What kind of, it's supposed to be a silly clown or a silly circus owner or something. What are you really is it a female? If it's a female, if you want to exaggerate an overweight but also still very shapely female body, it's a very different kind of body. We're talking about, we want to keep the breasts in a higher place, even if they're fertility goddess breasts. We want to keep the waist a little bit early, and then throw in the rest. Just like that. We want to preserve the symbol of the tight waist. You can do whatever you want with the boobs. We still have to keep this tight waist thing. You can do whatever you want with the body. You can make a more slender shape. But in order for us to read it as a woman, these little bumps here are not going to do it for us. What you are combining is the male way of keeping fat over a very, very small female symbol, which is why we're not reading anything off of it. Then you've got the face, which is a basically really, really cute kid, but with an abnormally large nose. That's what I'm reading off of this. So if you want to change all of this is too dark. You're using dark blacks and white whites. You need to rethink all of those choices as well. A lot of form problems here. This is what happens when you guys try to make masterpieces. If you don't have enough experience with what's needed for the masterpiece, meaning enough figure drawing knowledge and structure and sculpting knowledge, you're going to have an unsuccessful masterpiece. It's very simple. I still don't know what you're trying to do. Like the specific story. Is it a male? Is it a female? Why are they so overweight? Is it a costume? If it's a costume, signal that it's a costume, so maybe they have the little kind of bowl overalls. I'm not even sure like where to direct you design wise, because the design is really unfocused. You've got this really flattering waist shape, but not really flattering waistcoat, but the shape isn't there to carry that as well. So like I don't want to suggest any design changes. The costume is fine. It's just that the anatomy is completely symbolizing different things all at the same time. So you can do that. As for the nose, the ogre nose is not working. If you want to make her nose bigger, or his nose, I'm going to treat it like a girl. I don't know, it feels more like a girl to me. You can make the nose bigger, but you can make it bigger in the small range. So big for a woman. And you can finish the costume by adding some lipstick so we read female. Adding the thick upper lash line. You don't even need to throw in the lashes. And then the eyebrow arch. And then we get more female from this than male. Alright. But where you had it before was not working. Alright. So this was it before. After. If it's a male, let's do a little bit of work if it was a male. If it was a male character, we've got to get rid of this boob job. Connect this to that. Increase the size of this. Lower this half. Give him a belly. And again, same old, shrink the eyes. These caricatures, these character cartoons, you can't get away with this stuff in cartooning. Shrink the eyes. Make the eyebrows a little bit bushy and extend the distance between the lip and the nose. Lower the fat, because his face needs to be fat if he's that fat everywhere else. Make the eyebrows a bit bushier. I guess this is more close to male than what we had before. Do you see the female in the eyes? Do you guys see that? How female it feels when the eyes are that large? And after. Let me show you a quick example, and this is like with the full female. You can still have that funny body shape. You still need to see the symbol of the waistline. Let me show you real quick if I can find it. If fucking Disney doesn't sue me. Recently, one of my videos had a dispute on it, a copyright dispute, because this one stupid photography company, I don't know what they are, they reported my video for copyright infringement because I went into Google and I Googled hair. So I can show you guys a reference for hair. And they didn't monetize my video anymore, and they opened a dispute and they shut down the video. I was like, what the fuck? I Googled hair on Google. What? Like, I disputed it and I won, but still, like I said in the chat, it's like, they're such busybodies. So I hope, like, Disney doesn't come and sue me for looking up. Anyways, Ellie and Ellie up. Images. Alright, so look at the size difference in the eyes. Do you see that? If she had his eye size, it would be very, very uncanny. Look at the eye size difference in here. We read girl, we read boy. Even at the younger age, the sizes have to be applied. So young kids pretty much have the same face. And this can be a boy face too, because boys and girls pretty much look the same when they're younger. But when you get older, you have to show the cheekbones, slender neck, no neck, wider forehead, really low forehead, large eyes, thick eyebrows, thin eyebrows, larger nose, smaller mouth, but she's smiling. And he's got the bigger, generally bigger mouth compared to that nose. If you put that mouth on her face, that would be extreme. Even here, I love this movie. So that's what I mean. You guys have to remember the standard rules, the rules that apply if you work for Pixar, if you work for Blizzard. It's what works. It's the stuff that we pull out of real life. If you guys ignore these rules, you're gonna get something that doesn't read. It's gonna get something that's uncanny. So please don't forget about these rules. They're very, very important. Mickey's gonna kick in your door and have a talk with you, so be prepared. Emmanuel is my actual name. So female eyes bigger and guys smaller. The music at the beginning was foreshadowing. Yeah, I played the up music. A good example is also in anime, exactly, Edo. Now the eyes things make sense. I think that's what Waniac is trying to say. Potato nose for boys. You don't have to have a potato nose. It's just larger in scale. But say we're talking realism, surely it's not literally smaller. It is. That's just how it is. I guess estrogen does different things to a face than testosterone. Maybe testosterone doesn't shrink size, but it increases bone. That's for sure. Have you ever seen a woman on testosterone? What happens to her face? There's these transgender people that take on testosterone. Testosterone supplements 1 year. Actually, before, after. Images. I want it for the transgender thing. I don't know, there's this one lady, she's always on TV. She was in The Biggest Loser. She's one of the trainers. She takes testosterone, and her face is basically a man's face because of how much testosterone she takes. Trends before and after. There we go. That's when he was a girl, and that's when she became a boy. Girl, boy. Girl, boy. And this is when they took out the boobs. And that's testosterone, guys. Girl, boy. You guys see what I'm saying? That's what testosterone does. So all I'm saying is it doesn't really shrink the eyes, but it does give you like this bone structure that's very masculine. Look at the chin. What happened to the chin? What happened to the nose? What happened to the forehead? The chin line, the forehead. It's a very subtle difference. Especially because of the hair, that's a plus. The jawline, look at that, especially for female, it's much more slender. And the eyebrow bone. There's a lot of testosterone signifiers in the brow bone. Hard shapes for men, exactly. But it's not just about how sharp your lines are, half done. It's also about whether or not you're using these tools in your toolbox. So yeah, it is in real life. That is how it is in real life. Because relatively, when you have a character that is cartoony and you want to embody the masculine and female signifiers, masculine or feminine signifiers, you're going to have to choose the exaggerated version because in cartooning it takes a level of exaggeration for it to read. Unless you're doing photorealism, and not everyone can do photorealism. So yeah. Thanks everyone for coming. And one last request from I really want to request this. I don't know how to request it, but I'm just gonna, here goes nothing. Spread the word about this class. The bigger this class gets on Twitch, the more accessibility I have to tools and stuff like that. And it's like there's this whole different kind of channel layout if you become partner, or I don't know what it is. It's like an update. So spread the word so that our average hits at least 100, because when it hits 100, I think there's going to be a bigger option for you guys as well with quality and stuff like that. So spread the word. I'm the only one here advertising it. So spread the word so other artists can get access to it on Facebook. Retweets, all that kind of stuff really helps our community grow. It's really very small compared to other communities, and I want it to expand a little bit so it can get some power behind it and strengthen numbers. But that's it. Thanks again, and have a great day, guys. Bye bye.